Any day now, OBS. There we go. Okay. Just making sure things actually loaded up and booted properly. Because boy do things sometimes just decide to not work, as we all know. Twitch is having a laugh, I think. There it goes. Okay. Bear with me. Everything on the dashboard was having a moment. I had gone live, refreshed the dashboard once, was still convinced I was offline and everything, and the timer hadn't started, so I was very concerned. So, apologies for that interruption right at the start of things here. But, as you can see on the screen here, we're back to Lunacid. I had promised that I would play through the entire game once it hit 1.0, when I was showing it off on my anniversary stream. So, here we are. A couple days later than I had intended to be. One, because I didn't realize exactly what day 1.0 hit, so I was already doing something else that day. And then I got sick on Friday, which didn't help. And then, of course, I had the promised collab on Saturday. So, that's how we ended up here. For those who don't know what Lunacid is, I'm going to let it explain itself when we get there. Just understand that if you enjoy things like Shadow Tower or the early King's Fields, or even to a decent degree modern Dark Souls, if you like any of those, you'll probably get at a good idea what you're getting into, and you'll probably like this. This is the anniversary stream file. We won't be using that. We'll be making a full new save, because we will be playing this from the start to the end. Moon. Full moon, in fact, too. You know, mild weirdness with the pink ripples off it. It's probably fine. Everything's probably okay, right? I don't think that's a sign of... Okay, so maybe something's gone wrong. That might be weird. You know, there's just a chance that something weird's up there. I don't think your face should be opening like that there, friend. You also don't need to scream like that. It's okay. We can hear you.
Long ago,
There it goes.
a great beast came from the sea and brought with it a poisonous fog that spread across the earth. Corrupting everything it reached, the poison fog slowly transformed the world and brought about a new age. Now, grounded by the poison sky and outnumbered by creatures, humankind became desperate and formed feudal kingdoms.
As you do.
Closed off from each other, they became paranoid and are on the brink of extinction.
Also usual, yeah.
Those deemed undesirable, such as criminals or the ill, are cast out, banished into the depths of the Great Well, a pit of the diseased and undead. The Great Well is said to have but one door to the surface.
Really hope they don't draw any water from this great well, or it's going to be really awkward for everybody involved. And then everything turned green. He really doesn't get paid enough. Then again, there's not that much on that card. I guess it's not that bad. Could be worse. Decently strong if he can just tip that whole thing like that. And so easily. I don't want to go. Wretched thief. Thinking of stealing your life back? You belong to the depths now. I mean, that's one way to handle it. You also could have just probably smacked him on the head and he would have fallen down instead of cutting the hand off, but you know. I guess, you know, being a thief, you'd cut their hand off anyway. So, you know, you got a whole range of portraits, as you'd expect. You can even bring in your own if you wish. I used this one the first time, I think. And as you saw, we used this one the latest time. I'm feeling... kind of feeling this one. I don't know why. And I showed off magic the last time we did this. And I was a thief the first time, I believe. So I feel like I'm gonna give myself a bit of a easy start here and start us with Knight. I am a he, so I will go with he. That is fine. There was a whole thing involving this getting added, but we don't need to get into it, nor is it anything people should be upset about. And that's the entire exchange we're gonna have on that concept. Beginning and end. Done. Yeah, I'll just stick with using that. I don't care enough to come up with creative names right now. Even though it may get confusing. But this is why different portraits are necessary, so I can remember which ones are which. So the anniversary stream save is probably never going to get used again anyway. It's just there for posterity. Yeah, as you can see with the Knight, they start with exceptionally high strength by comparison to the rest of them. Good defense, kind of bleh speed. Good resistance, slow in both respects, and not exactly smart. They just go smashy smash and everything dies. Which is basically the idea I'm going to be operating under this time, is we go smashy smash and things die. Because I figure we focused intelligence last time. We focused speed the first time. It's time to really focus down on just pure brute force this time. In the good old Dark Souls tradition of strength being ridiculous. That doesn't mean I'm going to be only putting points into strength. It just means that's going to be the primary focus, which, if you remember, I kind of focused strength a bit even in the magic run just to get us into a decent spot, strength-wise. And I won't lie and say that it probably won't end up being somewhat balanced towards the end just because my nature is to end up balanced. But my initial intention is thus. You'll also notice I changed the FOV a bit. I'm trying out 90 as opposed to the, I think, 60 it started at. We'll see how it ends up feeling. It seemed okay in testing, so it shouldn't be a problem. We'll go ahead and save. Can't warp anywhere. We don't have any levels, so... I don't remember that blue meter being there. The one that's... oh, right. That's the weapon experience meter. That was added in an update yesterday? In the last couple days, there's been a couple more small Lunacid updates, which makes me very happy that I waited. Newest of the Fallen, take up your sword and fight. But fight what? You? I'll fight you. Good at fighting you. You don't fight back. I guess they don't mean them. Now, for those who haven't been here, and weren't paying attention, I have played the majority of this game twice. So I know where I'm going and what I'm doing for the most part. Memory's gonna have issues at times. It be what it'll be. Seek the slumbering creature of moonlight. They are the last existing door. Some kind of moon creature somewhere will get us out of here. When in doubt, smash the pottery because it leads to rewards. Now, up there is another area. I'm just going to tell you all that right now. And there's shortcuts to get there. One of which we were already looking at. I don't think I'll actually indulge in that shortcut like I did the last 2 times. I think we'll actually play it in the... what I believe is actual pathing order, instead of the way I've been going. Our first opposition, a snail. Notice how much quicker and easier it is to devastate those with actual strength, instead of the witch start we had last time where I'm like, please, eventually, accept death. Temple of Silence that way, Hollow Basin the other way. We do want this. That's a health vial. Can't go that way yet because we need a special key to open eyeball door. This is our highest possible speed right now, by the way. This is walking speed. This is our normal speed. Just in case anybody's like, can you go any faster? It's like, well, yes, but not yet. For those not initiated in the ways of this game, your speed stat determines how fast your character actually moves. So, you do need to raise that if you want to move at a decent pace. And dexterity determines your jump height, as well as, I think, only range damage? It might actually have a small effect on some other things that I don't remember. This is just a loop. Yeah, just soak in the world a little bit as well. Which is the other reason why I'm not amping my speed to crazy levels, is I want to actually take my time, look around again, experience the game in full again. Hey you. Look what I did to your friend. This is gonna be you in a minute. I don't think he liked that idea. Joke's on him, though. He doesn't have a head anymore. Which I believe, for those so inclined, I do believe there is like a code or something for random enemies. I might be mixing this up with something else. But I think there is like a name code you can use or something like that. I say that because I could have swore I remembered seeing that, and I debated doing it. But since I was playing the full game again, it made more sense for things to be as they are instead of messing with that. So people get a good first impression of the game and they see the whole thing as it is, instead of as I like to make things. Unfortunately, we're just not fast enough to consistently stay out of the reach of the shulkers, but it's okay. We actually have defense this time, so they're not just mincing us either. Which, that's another thing I could do, is just crank strength and defense and nothing else and just tank my way to victory. That's certainly something I've never done before, or with this. You can also block. I very frequently forget to do so, but it is a thing you can do. It is an option. Probably a very useful option. But when have I used the useful options? I think we're going backwards. No, I'm going the right way because there's the chest. My first instinct was to believe I was going backwards because every time we've come in here previously, I ended up going in loops in there. We now have our first spell. I can use it, I think. Won't be able to use it great, but, you know, I can use it. Yeah, we actually have a decent amount of mana for being dumb as bricks, so it's kind of okay. Hello. Give me 1 second and I'll deal with you in a moment. Boop. I always forget to do this before talking to her and going away. But this is the door we were just looking at the beginning. Well, you look a little lost. This area is called Hello Basin. It's the highest reached point of the Great Well. It's also one of the safest areas of the Great Well. Except, of course, Wing's Rest. Speaking of Wing's Rest, I can spirit you there if you want. Gotcha. One moment. And there we go. We are now at Wing's Rest as soon as it loads. Ta-da! Welcome to your hub town. We're gonna be here a lot. We're also gonna want that, because that gets us back here at a moment's notice. As you can see, we've got a interesting cast of characters around. We did not quite get enough weapon experience to use this pool, but I'm going to explain how it works right quick anyway. You toss a weapon in the oil, and it comes back out upgraded if it has enough experience. Currently, we don't, like I said, but that's why it yells at us and tells us weapon not ready, but it's important to keep that in mind. The moon cried to us in our time of need. It cried pinkish purple sludge, though. I'm not really sure that's good for anybody. Don't mind me just breaking all your stuff. I need things, and well, this has things. You can't actually take those, I don't think. It would be very funny if somebody figured out how. I am disinclined to upset the people here currently. Mostly because I'm not even sure you can, but again, not the point right now. Salutations, Outlander. Welcome to the depths. I'm Etna. I study the sacred art of alchemy down here. If you happen on any materials during your journey, you should bring them to me. Want to do some alchemy? This is where you'd combine a bunch of the random things you've got. In this particular case, you can actually see what these things are made out of. Which I don't remember. Either I never looked at this or this wasn't here before. I genuinely don't know. But this is incredibly helpful. Because I was always just jamming random stuff together and hoping for the best. And then there's just a skeleton here. Just hanging out. I don't think those health potions are doing you any good there, buddy. Well, hello there, Sonny. People call me Clive, though that's not really my name. I seem to have lost it. My memory isn't quite what it used to be. But my bones are good. I'll stay young by drinking these little health tonics. Here, why don't you take some? You look a little mealy. Careful of wandering the depths. Not everything out there's as peaceful as a skeleton. Isn't that a hell of a sentence? Now for you. Oh, what a mess you've been caught up in. Welcome to the depths, outsider. Escape to the outworld has long been a myth. But if you're gonna explore, why not prepare yourself? Fancy a new trinket, perhaps? Cheryl here will always be available to sell you what you need. In our case, we need this enchanted key. Because if you remember that eyeball door, that's what the key's for. Can't afford anything else useful, but we needed to come back here in order to get that key. Oh, good, it worked. Last time I tried that spell, it only worked about halfway. So this is Wing's Rest. It's an old temple of sorts made by a sect of holy monks. They were banished into the Great Well back during the Crusades. Although they're long gone, their protective magic still lingers. Take your time and relax here. If you want to head back out, just use the crystal where you came in. And that's how we get our little, basically, tutorial on using the warp feature of these. And as you can see, you have icons telling you where what place is. This menu changed a bit as well. This got cleaned up. So I don't remember there being as much of like a wall here. But I might be remembering wrong. But this also tells you how many areas we're going to be dealing with throughout the rest of the game. But let's not dwell on that too much. Let's just be on our way and get things done. Let's see. I gotta reorient myself for a second. Since I've very frequently done things in a weird angle for this game, the actual sensible pathing eludes me at times. Now you can always tell you're heading in the right direction-ish if you notice that little music change at the bottom of the screen there. It tips you off that you changed sections. So that'll tip you off either whether you're going the right way or the wrong way, depending on which song pops up and where you're actually trying to get to. We may as well kill these again just to get us some more experience. With decent strength, spamming isn't actually the worst thing, but you generally want to charge your swings. It'll also depend on what you're fighting a little bit. Though I honestly would say 9 cases out of 10 you do want to just charge your swings. Is this the right way? It might be. There's another shulker. I think I want to get in there. Yeah, there's the body I'm looking for. We have the key, and I do want to go back to where the key door was. Yeah, I did this already. Okay. I couldn't remember whether I grabbed the stuff off that body. That's why I came back over here. There's 1 or 2 things over in this area that you may as well grab, because every little bit helps. I'm getting that, like, feeling in the back of my brain that I'm forgetting something already. Now, I easily could be. Yep, there it is. Is over here is Ghost Light. Probably not something I'm gonna be using that much, because this game doesn't really get that dark that you need Ghost Light especially. But it's helpful to have. Mana Vial. I could have swore there was another enemy around here other than the shulkers, though. And that's what's kind of nagging at the back of my brain otherwise. I might also be getting my locations slightly crossed. Or it is just this milk snail that I'm thinking of, though I could have swore there was like a big snail somewhere around here. But again, memory is not the best, and things may have also changed slightly as well. So for now, we'll just move right along. If I did forget something, we can always come back for it. It's just a warp away. Oh yeah, there's also a manual on command in here. Just go ahead and jab the key in there. As soon as I remember how to use items. Oh yeah, C is how you charge magic, right? Is that swap weapon? Hang on, maybe I should actually, look at the manual. Two is quick item. Right, okay. Is 1 and 3 swaps it. Right, okay. I always forget that this 180 turn exists. Because I think that was always there, but I never used it. Yeah, that covers everything I need out of that. There we go, that's how you do it. Yeah, that's why I never used that, okay. Because it's hold shift and double tap, I think, judging from the way that ended up working. Yeah, because I'm just mashing away and it's not doing it. There's the torch, which our sword is at full experience, so we may as well go ahead and swap to the torch to get it leveled as well. And for those who might have darker monitors and such, now you'll be able to see a little better. And I know on the capture and everything, it's going to end up being slightly darker as well, so this probably helps everybody but me, which is fine. As my disembodied hand floats in front of me. Yeah, down we go to the Temple of Silence. Now, I'm gonna say this right now. Place is a little creepy. Just gonna note that now. Anybody who is concerned about slightly freaky things may not want to look too closely while we're here. I'm pretty sure I said that last time as well. Just, don't think too hard about what this is probably for either, because you might be exactly correct depending on what you think it's for. I'll definitely tell you one thing, it's not great. And there's things like this. That's probably not great either. As I break all their pottery. You notice there's quite a few of them around. Just, keep that in mind. The fact that there's a lot of them. Yeah. It never ceases to amuse me that you can end up setting the pottery on fire trying to break it. I'll take that. Now, and I said it last time, and I'll say it again, they don't get up. You don't need to worry about that. Everything's fine. Soon we'll be free of the accursed well, for great Prophet Abdul has found a way out. While we are tethered here physically, our minds can be extricated with enlightenment. A spiritual escape. I get it, I get it. I mean, it all sounds very culty, but, we were running a cult the other day. I can't really say too much about that. I can't give them too much of a problem about being a cult. This looks like something I want. Felt like a weird change in the air when I picked that up. Probably not a problem, right? Probably fine. I did not realize that that's gonna just do scheduled reminders. That's a thing. But yes, to go with that information popping up, I do have a Ko-fi page now that is actually active, and there are commissions if people want emotes on there, instead of the Fiverr commission page that I had before. We'll just hop on down here. Everything's fine. Nothing bad's gonna happen down here as I set the pottery on fire. Now, what's interesting is when I reconnected Ko-fi, it didn't give me a warning that it was going to start doing that, or give me a timer to set for that. So if that gets out of hand, do let me know and I'll just bat that so it behaves itself. I'll figure something out. But I don't anticipate that it's going to get too intrusive. This does mean that I may want to turn off the one I set up, because I did not realize that it had its own. To hunger is to live, to consume is to die. Well, that fits a bunch of monks that are trying to reach enlightenment. They must be fasting a lot. You know, I really don't feel like you guys should be worshipping this thing. It looks a little weird. Just gonna say that right now. It looks a little weird. It's just slightly tentaculate. Not the best. You know, you do you. I'm not gonna judge you for worshipping tentacles. Just this might be why you don't have faces anymore. Just gonna point that out. I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna leave. Lithomancy is an interesting one. A forbidden blood magic that gives life to the inanimate. Unable to comprehend existence, the objects only scream. Created by Mad Wizard Abdul before his exile, it is unknown what the purpose of this spell was. Bear in mind, this cult was formed around a Prophet Abdul. Mad Wizard Abdul, Prophet Abdul. Doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure that one out. Could just be two people named Abdul. Not saying that it's impossible for it to be two people with the same name, but just, you know, just keep that in mind. A lot of ashes in these pots. I might be just digging up graves by breaking all these pots, and you know what? Some of them had money in it, therefore they're all forfeit. You know, I don't think that's the sound gates are supposed to make. I feel like I've done a bad by opening this. But it was our only way out, so, you know. Things happen. Well. So yeah, now some of them are moving about. Again, they don't get up. These were ones that were not sitting down before. I'm gonna keep that joke going from last time, because I found it funny. And I know people are just gonna be like, what do you mean they didn't get up all over again? And it makes me laugh. And just so people get to see how magic works, that's Flame Spear. We suck at magic, so it doesn't do a lot. But it's still better than nothing. As you can see there, I poisoned it. And it is actually taking damage from the poison. And that's why I backed up. That purple stuff is bad for us. You don't want to be near them when they do that. Now, there's a reason why I'm doing some magic. And I will explain via the manual. It is over here. This land is rife with various spells, each inscribed on rings that the player must equip to use. Spells cast by holding and releasing the appropriate button. Needs either mana or blood, depending on the type of spell. I'll get into that when we need that as well. But down here's the important bit. Casting spells will also cause lunacy, depending on the caster's maximum mana, spell cost, and the real-world lunar cycle. Lunacy causes more damage to be inflicted both by the player's spells and by creatures. It will also increase experience gained. So you make the game more dangerous for yourself in some ways, but you also increase your gains. So bear that in mind when you see me casting spells a little weirdly at times. It's because I'm trying to encourage that system to work in my favor. I believe there's also... Yeah, we're at 5% lunacy right now. I believe there's also a symbol on the main HUD that shows up when you start getting high in lunacy as well. Like, there's like a moon that shows up. And I'll also just be using magic now and then just because it's handy to have a ranged option ready to go. Burn for your sins. You'll also notice dismemberment is a thing. I can knock their heads and arms off. They will behave differently depending on what limbs you break off. It doesn't always change anything. It really depends on what limb and on what creature, but it can be useful. Definitely worth keeping in mind. It appears the brain was removed, but the wounds were inflicted within the skull itself. It looks like the brain carved its own way out. So yeah, that's a fun thing, right? Everybody loves that concept. Yeah. Yeah. Brain escaped skull. Torch is done. I'm gonna go back to the sword for now. Switch between the sword and the dagger. Because the sword, I think, has slightly more reach. And if we need dots, the dagger will do the job. Because this area is slightly dangerous, and I would kind of like to take that sword arm off. Because that sword hurts. Yeah, like that. See that? That's the sword hurting. That's the sword hurting me a lot. Also, time doesn't pause when you are in that menu. Am I poisoned? Or am I just out of the light? I'm just out of the light. Okay. I had concerns for a moment there. But yeah, you don't want to get stuck in that room. Because if you're stuck in the room with those guys, you're going to have a very bad time. Don't laugh at me. I don't know if you're laughing or crying, but I'm going to give you a reason to do the second one. Quit casting explosion back there. It's not funny when you do it. Stop it. Makes you wonder how they're doing all of this without a brain. But it does explain why cutting their head off doesn't matter. We're poisoned, so we're not in a great place right now. And let this be a lesson in why I usually use magic in these games. Because melee fighting can be a bit of a crapshoot at times. $10. Now, there's multiple reasons why I came in here. One of which actually involves the Mummy Knights themselves. The rest involves things we'll actually find in here. Don't have enough magic left. Ow. That forward step always catches me because I misjudge the range. Nope. Aha. We really need to go touch a level up crystal, I think. Because by now we should have gained at least 1 level. But we did start at 10, which I think is the highest starting level. The Royal might be slightly higher. Not sure. I didn't actually check those numbers. We are still listed. No, we have 380% experience, so we have 3 levels in the tank at the moment. But we haven't seen a crystal in here yet, I don't think. Aside from, I think there might have been one back at the beginning of this place. There was at the very least one before we got in here. Note the fact that that wooden shield had the weapon symbol. I'll get into that in a second, once we're done disposing of this mummy. And no, the wooden shield is not what I came in here for. Long ago, I heard tales of Abdul and his temple, how they managed to reach enlightenment and escape. But they're still here, or at least their bodies are. Now, the wooden shield is in fact a weapon. Yes, smack people with it. You'll note, though, that it didn't have experience, so this is not a weapon that upgrades. Whack. It's not a half-bad weapon, though, especially for somebody as strong as we are. I've never actually tried blocking with it like I'm supposed to. We still took damage, just not as much. Oh, there's just multiple. I thought there was some kind of weird big abomination that Kira had added for 1.0, and I was about to be very upset. Kira being the developer. Bloodstrike. That's one of the things I wanted out of in here. Is I think Bloodstrike will actually be kind of interesting on a high strength character because we'll have enough health to actually use it a bit without destroying ourselves. Bonk. Oh no, you're gonna get me. You're gonna get me. Look at how he's getting me, everybody. Oh. Dang it. Shield, bash, shield, bash, shield, bash. Onyx. Blood wine. I might not get what I want this time, which makes me slightly sad because this would be the time I'd want it, which is exactly why I'm not gonna get it. That just makes sense. Crashy, bashy, smashy. So I don't think it's a static drop. I think it is something the knights drop. I just got lucky both times I was in here. I'm worried about the crawler. That's why I was being kind of weirdly cagey there. Nope, I don't have the magic for it. Yeah, because the crawlers are actually really dangerous because they're surprisingly quick. And we've already burnt all our healing, so that's not ideal. But it'll probably be okay. I'm so not used to being slow. That's what's really messing with me. By now I had already doubled my speed. Oh yeah, there's this thing. Hey. Fuck you. Ta-da! It was a fake wall. So that gets us back into the main area. Which is unfortunately still populated with mummies. Okay. By now, we probably have like 5 or 6 levels in the bank that I really should spend before we screw around in here much more. It's going to involve a little bit of backtracking, but it might not be the worst idea to go back for that crystal, because I don't remember where the next one is. I thought there was one in the temple, but I think my memory might be wrong about that. Hang on. I will read that in a second when I'm not dealing with that. Yeah, that is true. And welcome in, Nip. How you doing? Okay, I think I do remember where the other one is, and it's in this tunnel, which is why I turned around after turning around. Just gotta get to the room it's in, which should be down the other end here. This is right before the next area, I believe. And getting through here is not too bad. So I think there's this, and then the next room after this should be the one that has the crystal. Or, no, it is in the sewer then, because this is the door that gets me in there. I'll turn around in a moment to clean up the rest of that. I'm just getting to a save point, both to save and to get those levels spent before I get too far ahead of myself. Do 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 do. Yes, yes, rat. Go away. Rest area that way, lower passage the other way. This is where the crystal will be over here. I think I was just remembering wrong that there's a crystal in the temple. Because again, I'm so used to moving at like twice the speed we are right now. So I cover this distance quicker. There we go, 5 levels. I'm gonna give myself just a tiny touch more speed. Just to make it feel a little better. But like I said, I am going to be focusing on strength and defense and all that good stuff instead of my usual. But you'll notice even those 2 points already make a bit of a difference. It doesn't feel sluggish. And since multiple weapons have leveled up, let's go ahead and go get those transformed as well. So I think we got the majority of what matters in the temple. There we go. Now instead of a replica sword, it's the heritage sword. And the torch enhances into an iron torch. So now both of those are significantly better weapons than they were before. We'll be keeping the heritage sword on hand. I'm actually going to level up the stone club this time, because we have the strength to make it do something. Though I still don't think the stone club's a very good weapon. But I do want to see what it does. I wasn't asleep. I was just... Yeah. It's fine. It's fine. I could get this as well, but we used that last time. Same with the crossbow. The crossbow I probably will still get, but I'm going to prioritize grabbing some health vials first. We can get the crossbow later. Because I don't want to give myself too easy a time, otherwise I'm just going to gravitate to using the crossbow and nothing else again. I do want to keep things varied, as you might imagine. The club's just a little bit short on reach, and, you know, it's a club, so... That's why I'm really not that about using it. But there is at least one thing we left behind back in the tunnel there that I do want to go scoop up. Did I immediately turn the wrong way, or am I going the right way? I am going the right way. If you notice that it keeps switching the weapon, it's because it goes to whichever your first weapon is when you load into an area. You can also break the lights for fun. Yeah, where I'm going is actually back at the far end of the tunnel, back the other way. In hindsight, I should have turned and grabbed it beforehand. Hey there, Pazzy. I personally love this game, so I will always recommend it, but it's not for everybody. So far, things are going just fine. So I'm demonstrating the fact that things get a little more complicated when you don't hide behind magic or a bow. And don't have high speed to avoid hits with. You just end up having to trade. It's not to say we can't still use magic, it's just nowhere near as good. This club is sadness. There we go. Well, it wasn't like a high-profile release, even though by rights it should have been. It does fall into a niche, so people wouldn't be going that gaga about it. But I figured since it hit 1.0 right before Halloween... Yeah, exactly. Basically, in the circle, everybody knows about it, but outside of the circle of people who play this kind of thing, nobody knows about it. And yeah, it will evoke the PlayStation 1 in terms of graphics 100%, because its two main inspirations were PS1 games. Shadow Tower and early Kingsfield. There we go. I feel like I didn't finish that earlier thought. But yeah, with it having hit 1.0 recently, I figured I'll actually go properly beat the game this time, rather than just showing bits and pieces of it off like I have been. That was the rest of that thought that I tried to get out, and then brain went, what about the things on the screen there? You should say those too. Yeah, I remember we were talking about that, but we couldn't guarantee any of the ones I showed you were the right one. And I could not get enough to work with to be like, yeah, it's this. Because, like, if it was an early Elder Scrolls game, it would have been either Daggerfall or Arena. Most likely. I don't think it would have been Battle Spire. You're in the know, right? Because the thing we found in there was a VHS tape. Which I believe... I forget if that's what gives you this aesthetic, which I'm not keeping because it looks rough, is, you know, it's accurate to what it is, or if it has another purpose, I don't remember. But it's an Easter egg item. But I'm sticking to clean just because it's a little easier on people's eyes. I know not everybody's into those aesthetics. But I always like popping over there to show that off. That's if I'm remembering right. I could be wrong about what that item does. Because I genuinely do not remember what the VHS tape's for. There might be somewhere you use it. It might be what gets that. I genuinely cannot remember. I knew the answer once. At this point, it's gone. Because I got pointed in the right direction the first time I streamed this because the developer was there telling me. But that was over a year ago now. So... Oh, okay. So I do actually want to figure that one out again. Okay. I assumed as much, which is why I wasn't giving a full direct answer. But I also wanted to point out that I do not remember things. Because I had picked through all of this in the earlier releases, but I did not know what changed in 1.0. So there's going to be things I don't know. Quite a bit of it, in fact. Brain, something. I don't remember. Oh. Of course, the second I closed it, I remembered. I wanted to put Bloodstrike on. In case I actually remember to use it. So I take from that statement, though, Onip, that you have played this before and actually know everything, or at least a good chunk of 1.0's content, then. Do feel free to correct things that my memory gets wrong, as long as it doesn't involve telling people things we haven't seen. Okay, so the club's fully charged up for getting its upgrade. I feel like weapon experience is quicker. But it might just be because I'm using weapons much more actively in this run than the magic run, which would make sense because I was spamming a lot of magic in that run. I lost track of that room that I wanted to go back to. It was off this fountain room. Because I want to go back to where the knights were, because I do want the thing that's over there. So I also want to go upgrade the club. So, yeah, actually, before I go back in there, let me go upgrade the club. There's a mummy knight right there, actually. Hey. Hey, you. Hey. Look at me. Yeah, basically what I was getting at with that other point is take what I say with a grain of salt, because I easily could remember something completely incorrectly over all of this time. And some items have multiple purposes. Some of them I will forget. They did a very good job of making some of this very weird and interesting. We're actually getting quite a bit of money. I feel like we're getting more money this time. Weird. Might just be rolling better, might be changes. There goes the Kofi alert again. I don't think that's intrusive, but we'll play it by ear on that one. If people think that it's coming up too much, we can work on that. I could always see what happens if I time the bot out. I'm gonna go ahead and quickly upgrade the club, then we'll go back and see about grinding the drops from the nuts. Keep hitting escape reflexively so I can free my mouse for a second to check something. But escape doesn't work. Okay. I always break the lights for fun. Absolutely don't have to, and I'm pretty sure they don't do anything. It just amuses me. For those wondering why I'm rushing back to put the club in the pool, other than it just being a matter of I don't feel like having it be the weapon that it is any longer than I have to, as I said before, I've never upgraded the stone club, so I don't know what it turns into, so I'm curious. Because the stone club usually just was so useless to me. I'm hoping it turns into something productive, but I have a suspicion that it's not going to be any better than it was, aside from higher numbers. I also did gain some levels. Strong. Iron Club. Yeah, that's about what I figured. It is now 37 damage, and it does still have a weapon experience bar, which is what I was hoping for. Because I know some weapons can upgrade more than once. That's why I didn't want to waste weapon experience. We'll also have enough money to buy the crossbow, so I should probably just grab it before I forget about it entirely. Because there are going to be cases where I'm really going to want that on hand. But I'm going to try to reserve that as an oh shit option, not as a this makes my life easier option. Oh, and for those who missed the news, we did pass the 250 goal for followers. So that's good. As I said in both the thank you posts, I will think of something to do for that, but I don't know what yet. I didn't really have a plan because I genuinely did not expect to make another like 10 plus jump within a week or so. So, a little bit unprepared on that one. That's on me. We'll do what we can to fix that, and I'll either like make a graphic about the whole thing, or maybe I'll do a special show if I come up with a good idea. But to lend some context to what I'm doing right now and why I'm specifically going back to where the Mummy Knights are, there's a weapon I seem to recall that they drop that I want. This seems like the setup to actually use that instead of my other runs where I usually kind of leave it by the wayside a little bit. It's not like a high priority to get, but I figure I'll get the weapon experience, I'll get the weapon, it's a win-win. Not the most exciting thing, I know, but it lends a bit of an idea of how things work to everyone as well. It does mean we're going to be slightly over-leveled moving forward, and that's not entirely a bad thing. Oh yeah, Iron Club hits a lot harder than the Stone Club. Okay. I know it said that it had twice as much damage in terms of its stat line, but let's be real, that doesn't always mean anything. I think it is this hallway that has the door I opened. Yeah, I think this is... No? Other end? Probably other end. Oh, that's right. This was a mirage, not a secret door that I opened. Right. But as you can see, the upgrade is making disposing of these significantly quicker, which will make getting what we want theoretically much more reasonable. If I don't get it on this trip through, I'm probably going to disregard it for the time being. And if I really want it, I can go get it off stream in the future, or for this file. It's not like an emergency or a crazy important thing for us to have. It would just be nice. Okay. I don't think I need to cut the sword arm off to get what I want. But for those wondering, that's what I'm looking for, is their weapon. Which I'm like 90% sure is literally just a drop from them, and I'm just being unlucky about getting it at this time around. Might also be that the drop rate on it changed in 1.0. Drop rate could have changed. I could just be unlucky. I may have just been lucky previously. That there's layers of options there. This is where the blood strike was, but I thought there was another knight in here. That's why I poked my head back in. Turns out not so much. I think we just didn't get lucky this time. And I don't think there's any other doors in here. I know that this game does have a fair few nested secrets. But I think we've already got the nested secrets that are in here. I think we got everything, because that was where we came in over there. When we came in originally. And then the blood strike room was the one that was over there. And there's a couple more in here. This is where we got the shield. And no, I do think weapon experience might be quicker in 1.0. Because we're already halfway recharged on weapon experience here on the second form of this thing. I mean, that's a good thing to me. But just worth noting. We're at 0% lunacy, so I can't even say, oh, we're getting boosted by that. Because we're not. Doesn't matter. Nope, that was probably our last shot at getting that, and we didn't get it. Oh well. Let me get a notification off the side of my screen before it drives me insane. There we go. Discord was being Discord. There we go. It's just perpetually seeing a little red 1 in the bottom left corner of my peripheral vision was getting to me. I know that sounds silly, but that's just how I am. If I see a notification like that, it's gonna bother me. It's like, well, what if it's important? Probably isn't, but what if it is? I need to find out. Because none of the regular mummies in this hallway will get me what I'm looking for, I'm pretty sure. Thank you. And I suppose not getting the sword from the mummies just means I'm going to be more inclined to actually use this club more. And this sword. This club still has upgrades left, so... And that's why I'm more inclined to use it. Well, that's why I'm able to see it, is because it's in the taskbar tray of both monitors. And I'm seeing it from the taskbar tray. Hence why it's at the bottom corner of my vision. I could just hide the tray entirely, but there are times when it's actually something important, so... I don't want to miss something completely just because I didn't want to see e-notifications. So I try to just balance it as best I can. Thank you. We're going to raise our defense a bit more now. Yeah, I'll round out to 10 speed. And 5 dex, because we are going to need a little bit of jump height for a couple things. To be not a pain in the butt. There we go. That's a much more comfortable pace to move at. I knew it was going to drive me a little bit batty to not be able to move fast. But there's not moving fast, and then there's moving at a snail's pace. Yeah, honestly, like I had said in the, at least in the Blue Sky post, a good chunk of the credit goes to Blue Sky itself, because I've been able to find a lot more people and actually interact with a lot more of them there. So that's been beneficial. I'm usually all about fast, but you miss things in this game if you're going too fast. And I want people to have a chance to see those this time instead of me flying around like a bat out of hell like I did last time. So I'm purposely hamstringing myself a bit just so people get to take in the environment instead of watching as it blurs past me. Smack at the goop. Smack at the goop. Smack at the goop. There we go. Now, what is the distance on Bloodstrike? Because I do not remember. I should probably test it before I try to use it in a real fight. I need to find something not so dangerous to test it on. There's also a secret door here that I remember. Yeah. I mean, 150 is not that bad. Or does it skip to 200? I forget. Either way, the highest is insanity. Everything else is generally fine. What is... There's the button for that one. Okay, I can reach a decent distance with Bloodstrike. Okay. Mirror is interesting, but most people don't like playing mirror mode because people can't handle it. It confuses them. I usually go at it from the angle of, well, I don't remember these maps anyway, so mirror mode doesn't affect me. So I don't play often enough to have the maps memorized or anything. It's like, sure. Mirror mode really only hurts people with muscle memory. Another one of you. Which is why you play non-mirror, yeah. The logic follows. No, I genuinely end up only playing most of the Mario Karts only like once in a blue moon. Especially these days. So I'm like, it's fine either way. And I still haven't touched any of the new content they keep putting out for it because it just keeps adding more and more costs to it. Well, that's an inconvenient time to be poisoned. Not that there's ever a time where you really should want to be poisoned, but you know. Just gonna let that keep on draining because the poison will be wearing off soon. Now we'll heal back to basically full and the poison should wear off before that becomes a problem. I keep feeling like there's something I can do with this, but I seem to recall using Lithomancy on this and nothing happening. But I'm gonna check it again just to be on the safe side. Because I know there are things you can use Lithomancy on. Nope, didn't do anything. We'll get that health back. It'll be okay. Which, can I just say that I appreciate the fact that you get the health you spend on blood spells back. Even if it does mean you have to wait for it to come back. It is a nice thing. Welcome to the really spooky part of the sewers, where there's going to be a few real weird things hanging out. This is one of those places where it's going to be a little bit less overall workable that we don't have a ranged weapon. And there's one of the things. Meet the Rat King. Otherwise known as a pile of rats. It's just a sentient blob of rat. So yeah, you know, that's a thing. And as a matching set with the Rat King, there's the Rat Queen. Notice how much more dangerous the Rat Queen is. She is why I was like, it's gonna be a bit unfortunate that we don't have a real good ranged attack right now. And I've not really been allowing myself to use the crossbow as extensively as I usually do. We're fine, just she stings a bit. But we can thankfully let the bleeding damage sort itself out, since we have enough health to do that. Making those sewer hops, though, is part of why I wanted to make sure to have a bit of dexterity available at this point. Ta-da! Save point. I don't think I've ever ramped up my strength as hard as we're doing this time, so I'm curious to see just how far it'll let the health bar go. I kind of want to just consume the screen with health bar, because I think that'd be funny. I feel like I'm pretty sure I've taken another different path than the way I've usually passed through this area, now that I think about it. Because usually I end up in here last out of the parts of this place. But I think some variety of autopilot from the last time we were playing this brought me here quicker. The part of that may also be I just didn't get as lost this time. That's always a possibility as well. Strong plant. Problem is, I don't remember why I'm down here. Yeah, I know there's a reason to be down here. I just don't remember what it is. Pretty sure buried in these tunnels somewhere is something I do want. There's another Rat King, which is not something I want. course, you know, there's just a dead guy with a rat king. That's a thing. Another rat queen. You know, madam, we could always just not. Oh, well, this is inconvenient. I've now gone and fallen in the water. And there's a good news and a bad news to falling in the water. Part of the bad news is I'm in the water with the rat queen. Which means she's going to be at quite the advantage to a degree. Except we can rise in the water reasonably easily. Okay, I just got to keep an eye on that bleed damage now. Nope, we're okay. I forgot that the movement in water was based on where you were looking for a little bit there. That was causing me some movement problems. This, I think, is one of the directions I wanted to go. A little bit more adept at the turning stab than I remember you being, but I'm also slower than I'm used to being. There we go. Go ahead and heal up. I don't think I have any antidotes. No, we did pick up one. There we go. I don't think there's a way to use items other than the quick items either. I don't recall there being one. Does this actually lead somewhere, or did I red herring myself? I might have red herringed myself. I end up doing that quite a lot with this game, because I'm like, oh yeah, this leads somewhere. Yeah, somewhere you were 5 minutes ago. God damn it. Yeah, no, I think we did loop again. This sewer is the bane of my existence in terms of navigation, because a lot of it really looks the same. I start marking where I've been by breaking lights again. That's how we got down here, because you can see the staircase. There's the grating. There's another rat queen. Nee. Look at you swimming. Aren't you clever? You know, I figured it out. Interesting. Whoop. I think I'm out of magic, aren't I? No, not quite. Damn it, I fell in the water again because it ate my jump because I got hit. Dang it. Get back here. Not quite the back here I meant, but you know what? I'll take it. So that went poorly. Like, in basically every possible regard. Oh well. We can chalk that off as we've been over here now. This is the same staircase, right? Yeah. The problem is, I forget if this is just a tunnel that leads you from one place to the next, or if there's actually a reason to be down here. Of course, it doesn't help that I also forget what the purpose of the compass is. I don't remember if that is just a point you towards north so you know which way you're facing compass, or if that points you towards something in this game. I do not remember. I also don't know if it's ever actually something you're told. This, if I remember right, is how we got down here originally. Yeah, because there's the face I messed with. Nice. What did you get? I think that Kofi thing is on what, like a half-hour reminder? I think half-hour timer might be right for that. Ah, okay. Till I saw the part about brown switches, I was like, did you just need to replace the keyboard and you just got an identical twin? But I guess this switch variety is also a valid choice. Well, is that a regular rat or was that something? No, it's a regular rat. Could have swore there was a book or an item in one of these little rooms. But I think I keep not going to the right room. Because I keep going in circles in here. So I know I've covered most of the sewer since we fought like 3 rat queens and 2 rat kings. I think I've just missed my exit like that many times. Yep, so now we're back there again. Ah, okay. So since it costs the same either way, you may as well just get the fresh keyboard. Yeah, that makes sense. It's a little insane that getting the keycaps would cost the same as getting the keyboard, but in that market, that does make sense. Yeah, no, I might just be lost. Maybe I'm just remembering something wrong here and there isn't a room like I'm thinking about anywhere near. I mean, in most cases, you can manually rip the keys off and replace them yourself. But if there's no, like, separate keys, then yeah, you're not really gonna be getting that great an option there. As long as you don't, like, rip them off with a crowbar like some kind of psychopath, it's usually fine. So I've popped the keycaps off of this keyboard a few times just to clean underneath it easier. And everything on here still works just fine. Well, that's why I say it that way, yes. Is because I could picture any of us doing that, because you have a problem pulling the keycap up, so you just go get the biggest, heaviest, nastiest thing you can, and just boom, off it goes. This is why it's said, because it's said from experience and understanding of who to tell what not to do. Because in the end, if one of us does go out and immediately do that now, I can just say, well, I told you not to do that, and I am absolved of any responsibility. Not lost, no. I do know where I need to be. The thing is, I could have swore there was something else down in that sewer and I didn't find it. So I'm just foregoing this nebulous memory concept and actually taking us in the correct direction again. This is like my third or fourth time going through this area. It's just a matter of it's a little jumbled. Yeah, exactly. There's a specific tool for the job. Though I'm the degenerate that was sitting there prying them off with my fingers, but that's neither here nor there. Yeah, this should lead us to somewhere we haven't been yet. While we were at the crystal, I should have upgraded the club. I'm a fool. Oh well. At this point, I'm not turning around. Yeah, now we're up here. Down there's where we were just a bit ago, where we were fighting the demon slimes. As noted by the fact that there's another demon slime down there. River passage. You'll remember the river passage sign we saw just moments ago. You believe somewhere around here is the controls for that door that was blocking us off. I don't remember if it's this way or if it was the path I didn't take across the bridge there. One of the two leads to a shortcut across there. Hello, Skeleman. Goodbye, Skeleman. I'm just not dealing with those anymore. I'm done with getting poisoned. We are just quick enough that we can get away with that. There we go. There's the barrier spell. Which that might be another one I might actually want to start considering using. Because that's one I've never used. Because why use a magic shield when I can throw magic death at everything and not need to get near them? But you know, we're not so capable of hurling magic death this time, so magical defense might just be the idea here. An earth spell that creates a protective wall in front of the caster. Useful for temporary respite. Correction, I did use this the first time we were playing this, and I used it to wall off a couple things for safety reasons, but just so people know. See, this is where we were before. It's a shortcut back to the crystal. In fact, let's use that to go ahead and upgrade this club before I forget again. This game is great about shortcuts because they usually only give you the one crystal per area, as you'd expect. So you just use the shortcuts to loop back to them, so you can do as you need to do. Let's see what this club turns into now. And I really do appreciate them having the weapon experience bar up there now. Didn't used to be there. Steel club. Okay, didn't put spikes on it or anything, just made it bigger out of a different metal. 70 damage though. 70 damage. Okay. Considering everything else we have is like 12 and 8 and 28, 70's kind of silly. I'm gonna do a quick juggle here. Make that the primary, put the crossbow there. There we go. This way when we transition areas, it'll keep putting the steel club primarily in my hand. Because I may not be that big a fan of the club to begin with, but boy is it too strong to turn away now. But now we can use our shortcut to get back to where we were and make some forward progress. Though I went the wrong way for the shortcut, so bear with me a second. Because I, of course, went the wrong way immediately. I, for some reason, thought the shortcut door was directly across, but I'm... Yeah, it's this one. You can tell because there's the sign next to it. That's the easy way to spot it immediately. Bonk. Bonk. Bonk, bonk, bonk. And just for fun, I'll show what the barrier spell actually looks like. Here's a wall. It's very effective if there's something you desperately need to not be anywhere near. Just don't wall yourself in with bad. Totally not saying that from experience or anything. No. Why would I ever wall myself in with a problem? No. That never happens. It never happens. It totally didn't cast slow enough that I trapped myself in with something that killed me. No. No. Crazy talk. Bonk, 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 bonk. You also want to be on the lookout in these tunnels for secret doors, because there's a handful of them just scattered around these hallways. In fact, I think I missed an important one back early on that I should have shown off, but I forgot about it. And was moving quick enough that I didn't think to look for it again. Because you come upon it pretty quickly, from what I remember. And for those who haven't noticed, there is a little question mark that pops up when you're near a secret door. Including if you're not looking directly at it and it's very, very close to you. Which is very nice, honestly. Could have not had that and it would have still been reasonable, because it just means you walk up and down the hallways mashing E. Which, you know, not the most fun thing, but it's kind of expected in this genre. I see shiny. Give me shiny. Gimme. The wind dash spell. This is something we do actually want. Specifically because, especially with the speed we have, we're gonna need that for something. Something very, very specific. Remember how dangerous these were literally within this area before? And now they're really not that bad. That's how much stronger we got. It's a nice feeling to get stronger, isn't it? Oh, god damn it. Eh. There's one of them. I think this is the one we went into already, though, isn't it? Might not be, though. No, I think this is the one I was looking for, actually. There's this mana potion. You might be thinking, well, Drac, why are you looking for a secret just to find a mana potion? You know, there's also money, but if you take another step towards this way... Old song from a canceled game. Well, hi there, cutie. I'm Jaleisha the Slime Girl. I know what you're thinking. What's a cute gal like me doing here? Well, this is actually where I live. All the meaty sludge and sewage is great for the complexion. Hey, if you're going to be around, you mind helping me out? Sure. My boyfriend Boneyard's been missing. If you find out what happened to him, just come back and let me know. Let me know if you find out what happened to Boneyard. So now we have a side quest to find Boneyard. I'm just gonna break all your furniture. I hope you don't mind. Aside from your indestructible stool, you get to keep that. That's yours forever. But yeah, that's another just little side quest hidden in the game. I don't actually know where Boneyard is. I don't think I ever found where they ended up. Though I also suspect I didn't really look that hard. Slash, I might have found them and then never went back to her to find out if I was right or not. There's options there. I'm currently trying to find the other exit from this place. There's two exits. The one where well, yeah, basically the exit going back where we came from, and the exit leading forward. You could say that that's an entrance and an exit, but technically both are exits and both are entrances, so it's neither here nor there. This is the thing I jumped over before, I think, but the slimes have respawned. Yeah, now we're back up here again. Okay. Out of all the areas in this game, this is the one I tend to walk in circles in a lot, because just something about this area just does not stick in my head at all. So I never can remember the pathing in here. It also doesn't help that this place does loop in on itself a lot. Yeah, the skeleton over here is dead, so I think we did go over here already. I mean, maybe this is Boneyard? I mean, it is a skeleton. One of the few just random skeletons around. Assuming that the skeleton that we talked to that gave us a health potion isn't Boneyard. So that's an angle I never actually thought to check now that I think about it. Would have made sense for there to be a secret door between these, but there isn't. And I know I checked that already, but I was passing it, so I was checking it. Ah, I think I finally took the right turn. Because you'll see a door on the other side of that gate. That door leads to forward progress. And you might think, well, how do I open the gate? Well, that's the fun thing. You don't. You also don't have to. Ashes. Curse this land, curse this pit. I go onward to the castle of the diseased one. Farewell, my brothers. If I succeed, I shall come back to give you a rightful burial. Sir Garrett. So yeah, that's a thing. Because remember, we're not the only ones down here. We're certainly not the only people that have been thrown down here. Or over time, and I believe there... I think you'll find writings about some kind of expedition that went down here at some point about something as well. Which I think relates to that lot. Go ahead and wash the sewer off me a little bit. But more importantly, door. Welcome to the Sanguine Sea. Usually I come here after going to one other area, but I'm opting to go straight here this time. You'll see a couple lights out in the distance, and this place is real big, real dark, real spooky. I highly recommend against interacting with the locals around here. They're not exactly the most pleasant bunch around here. Some of them you're gonna have to interact with. But again, unless you have to, just don't. My reasons for rushing on out here are twofold. One, we grab the warp points. And two, there's places I've never actually properly investigated that I want to prioritize. But I think I can't enter this place properly yet. But I'm here to get the warp point for this place for the future. Castle Lefanu. Those of you that were here for the anniversary stream will recall that we ended the segment on this game here. Great Knight of Laria, Ophelia. And we had ended our journey here because I wasn't sure if this place was actually implemented at that point in the game's development or not. Because we didn't spot an immediate way in. Quite possibly. You might recall we just saw a note from Sir Garrett back in that previous area. Salutations, little lambkin. I'm Sir Garrett the Hound. I'm on my way to kill the lord of this castle. You're also getting eaten. Seek battle, my friend. Yeah, hang on. Battle sought me. Now, there's one small problem hanging out around here right now. And that's that these things don't care about physical damage, which is one of the big things I was concerned about with focusing strength this time. So we're going to be kind of relying on Blood Strike and other magic to do anything around this section. It's fine. That's why I made sure to grab Blood Strike. As long as I don't get too greedy with it, we can use it basically infinitely. I think we are permanently losing a little bit at a time as far as our health goes, but I can just potion that back, so it's not that big a deal. This is why you always make sure to be prepared with more than one damage type. We can also snag a bunch of moon petals in here. Take note of that moon underneath our spells over there on the right as well. That means our Lunacid's up pretty high, which means enemies will do a good chunk of damage, but we'll also do more damage with our spells and get more experience. Capital cells. We need gems, though, and we don't have any. Did you have anything else to say? Greetings. But I've ran into a bit of a conundrum. I can't figure out how to open the main gate. I feel so foolish. How does it work, I wonder? Well, let's go have a look at that main gate, shall we? Also, don't worry about what implications there might be looking at the ceiling. It's probably just the reflection of the pool. Yeah, let's just believe that, yes. It's got diamonds on it. Sadly, I don't think we have a magical Bluetooth button. He might, but we don't. Probably lost the dongle. Everybody always loses the dongle. Okay, over here's another item. But I think until we go get the red gem we need for the cattle cells, I think this is the extent of what we can do here. And I don't think the red gem is here. As I said before, I don't actually know where the red gem is. So we'll have to go hunt around the game world to figure that one out. I mean, that's certainly a choice. Yeah, that might... It might make it slightly complicated to find. Was it a smooth rock or a sharp rock? That's what you gotta figure out. I don't think there's anything else over here. I think it is just Garrett, the door, and the moon petal pile. And death. You can definitely jump off to your death. Don't recommend that. I feel like I've seen that before. I don't remember where. I mean, always shiny. Always shiny. Only the shiniest rocks will do. Nope, looks like we're not gonna get any insight by coming up here. I'm also slightly stuck. Well, I've made a choice now, haven't I? Nah, it's fine. I'll figure something out here. Yeet. There we go. That's why Wind Dash is pivotal to have. Every now and then you'll get stuck in a vertice because you're poking around the wrong place. And Wind Dash can get you out of that situation. That's why I wasn't worried. I'm just like, well, this is different. I haven't gotten stuck here before. But I also never bothered to jump up on this fountain before either. I wanted to see if any of this was breakable. Just in case, like, they hid the gem in plain sight, like, in the horse head or something. But it doesn't look like that's the case. Yeah, it looks like that Kofi thing is on a half-hour interval. That's fine. I can live with that. Okay. I did take a wrong turn because we should have been able to get here as well, and I forget where that door is again. We can also go here. For a little bit of context, these 4 areas over here are the only areas of the game I've never been at least to at all. I've been in here before, I've been up here, and I've been here. This is where we are currently, and I've been in the entry of this before, but I've never been inside it before. If I had to... Actually, let me bring that back up for a second to explain in my thought. If I were to hazard a guess, if the redstone we're looking for isn't in any of these areas we've been to already, I would hazard it's here. Because redstone in Lava Place tends to be things that go hand in hand. There's also a possibility that another area has been added to the Sanguine Sea in 1.0. Because I thought I saw an archway over here as we were approaching here. That's an area I've been to over there. Oh, never mind. That's not an archway. I know what that is. Let's go show everybody what that is. Get a load of this big boy. It's just stomping around here having a great time. I tried challenging that thing once. It didn't go well. Someday I may challenge it again. Today is not that day. But you know, it's real big. It's real big. But we may as well stomp around out here in the Sanguine Sea for a little bit and see if there are any other areas that I didn't know about out here. Is the topography out here could have changed over time. And that may provide me with the insight I was looking for into where access to one of the places are. Oh yeah. This place is pretty big. I mean, it is an entire sea of blood after all. It would have to be pretty big. Like, I want to believe that all of the places you can get to around here are lit up, like the ones we looked at, but just in case. Okay. That rock was on its own, so I was curious about it. It's like, does that do a thing? Clunk. Guess not. Because there are a couple things scattered around out in the field here, too. Some of which you have to be kind of a little careful / crazy / crafty to get to. Without getting ruined for it. Yeah. Bit of gamer logic, bit of genre savvy, call it what you will. They all kind of go hand in hand. I'm gonna grab the checkpoint here, but we're gonna continue exploring before I deal with this place. In part because I kind of don't like this place. Like, this place is cool, but it also upsets me. There's something very good we do want in here, though. But like I said, we'll finish looking through the Sanguine Sea before I deal with this. If you thought we were ill-equipped to deal with the ghosts outside the castle, we're really ill-equipped to deal with in there. I make good decisions. Yoink. Summon Fairy acquired. Yeah, there's the fairy ring there. I think there's a weapon somewhere out here as well that I recall picking up. There's also something else that I'm not going to want to deal with right now. But I'll show where it is and then promptly run for my life. Just so people know all about this area. That lit up spot over there is where we came in here from. And that's the castle, and that's the tomb. As huge as this place looks, it's mostly the fact that it's so empty that makes it look big. Oh, yeah. I'll know it when I see it, and it'll know me when it sees me, too. And it'll be a problem. It must be between these two places. Oh, yeah. It just hates. I know it's out on one of these edges. I just couldn't remember which edge. So it must be in between over here since we circled around from the castle all the way around. As you can see, this place is also kind of trippy because you'll see those places in the distance, and for a long time it really feels like you're not getting any closer to them. It's kind of creepy that way. You might also notice that there's something different about one of those pillars, too. There's something on top of that one. We'll get into that in a little bit here, too. Well, yeah, it's kind of like the unknown. You just got nothing there. You're like, well, what is this? Why is there nothing? What are we doing here? Yeah, see these skeletons here? The skeletons aren't the problem. It's what's making the skeletons. That's the problem. See that horned gentleman back there? That's the problem. We'll go ahead and get a little closer. Hello. You seem to be missing a head. Now he's gonna come fuck me up, so I'm just gonna wind dash away from this problem. So yeah, that's an abyssal demon. That's no good. Hi. Bad. No. We are not charging that. We will not win that fight. That is a 110% we will lose. He is following me a lot farther than I thought he would, though. That's a bit of a problem. Could you kindly go away? I might actually have to area change to get it to go away. Yeah, because he's coming up here too. Okay. just gonna leave that alone. I don't like that sound. Oh yeah, he hurt me as I was going through the door. That's what I thought was happening. So yeah, notice how much of my health I lost just from him being in contact with me for a second or so. Yeah, that's why that thing's bad news. I'm not built to fight that. You're not supposed to be fighting that thing anytime soon. That's why I'm like, I'm gonna show this, and we're not gonna deal with it. That thing is brutal. Okay, so that proves that the entrance to any of these areas isn't in the Sanguine Sea, then. At least not directly. It's possible that this leads to one of these. I'm trying to remember a thing. So I always forget where the door here is. But I know, for example, there's a place from here that leads here. Going from here led to the Sanguine Sea, which led to these two places. This one's a little weird, so we're not going to discuss that entirely right now. But given the logic laid down by all the other paths here, logically then, these places would be accessible from one of these. But since we need a red gem to get in there, either I'm missing the red gem in one of these 4 locations, it's over here, and then I come back, or what have you. The only reason I'm even considering it being in one of these 4 locations over here is I trekked over a lot of territory in these areas over here looking for anything before and never found it. But again, it may be that it wasn't in place before 1.0, or I just missed it. So let's go ahead and deal with the Cursed Tomb now that I've shown that situation off. Because we fully heal when we touch the crystal, so that part's not an issue. I just don't like this place. The haunted paintings aren't a problem, but where that goes from there is where it starts to become an issue. Just gonna go ahead and turn this on. This way to catacombs. Yeah, let's see if I can do this the smart way and not have to deal with the worst part about this place. I'm gonna need Bloodstrike back, though. There's the flying horse heads. You'll notice, another case of melee has no effect on them. They also sting a bit. They don't hurt too much since we have good stats defensively, but we really can't do a whole lot to them. His blood strikes are about our only real way of hurting them, aside from using our actual magic, which our actual magic is not great. So I think I'm gonna opt for just ducking around them as best I can. Thing is, there's gonna be a few of them. This is meant to be the spooky area. And it is definitely creepy down here. But as usual, I am unbothered by such things. Also, mild flashing warning as they are eviscerating my health. Okay, I think this is one of the staircases I want. This might also be right back where we started. No, this is definitely somewhere else. Good. There's something I'm looking for that will solve all of our problems in here. That ain't it. That's a good thing to have, but that ain't the solution to our problems. Oh, this is a situation I was afraid of with this plan, is they all pile up. Thankfully, we got around them, so we're okay. Did not really want to just jump up with that. That was not what I wanted. Yeah, we really don't have a viable means of fighting these things. I went backwards. That's okay. We can loop around. This place is a maze. They are still following me a little. I think this is a good thing. This might be... No, this is where we were, I think. Yeah, this is the one we turned on already. Especially when you're running from the horse heads constantly, these tunnels are going to get very confusing. I would say just hug the right wall the entire time, but without an ability to really fight in here, it's a little tricky to maintain that, because sometimes you gotta run for your life. Notice how I bumped into something there, and something attacked me. There is mostly invisible monsters in here. There's a couple ways to see them. One is, I believe, once your lunacy gets high enough, you can see them. And two, once we activate all the lights, we can see them. You can tell where they are because you can hear them, and you can kind of tell where they are by the absence of things. Like, they're not, like, impossible to spot or to deal with. Oh yeah, you can still kill them. I'm just fine. Like, there's one right around here somewhere. I just saw it make purple. Yeah, there it is, right there. But it's the same issue as the ghosts. You need to use magic on them to hurt them. That's why I'm not dealing with them right now. I'm trying to find something in... Is there something in here that will solve all of our problems with that regard? Problem is, I don't remember how to get to it. It's in one of these tombs. I just forget which one. It's one of the ones I have to access from the catacombs. I remember that much. This is one of the gated off ones. But I'm grabbing what I can while we're here, because why not? Also, since they have a bit of a hard time getting in here, I'm going to explain what those elixirs we're picking up do. Earth elixirs give you 40 more max health permanently. The ocean elixir we picked up, which I'm having a little bit of trouble scrolling down to, gives you 40 more magic permanently. They're both very handy to have. Oh, he found his way in here. But yeah, if I cast a bunch of magic and raise my lunacy, we would be able to see the Migos. But I also don't really have a reason to see the Migos. Noble crypts. Yeah, this place is kind of a pain in the butt. Between the invisible Amigos being just kind of a nuisance, and the fact that everything in here is magic it or you don't get anything done. This place is very unfortunate for a melee-focused build like the one I chose, but I also went into this knowing that this was going to be a problem. and knowing full well that I can just kite my way to victory till we get what I need to deal with that. Peasant graves, commoner crypts. These should be open, though. Why aren't they open? Did something out of order. Also, skeleton! Oh no! So spooky. Now, there's a reason why I opened that, and we'll get into that in a second. Light the 3 fires of Prometheus. Only then shall vision be restored. The fires of Prometheus being those big furnace-looking things that I already lit one of. Hear that loud brrrr? I seem to recall that that's one of the sounds that the Migos make. There's definitely one in this room. That's why I'm staying mobile enough. Yeah, phantoms are an issue. That's definitely a thing. I'm pretty sure I've told the story in Morrowind how I walked across the entire goddamn continent because I ran out of money. That was sure a goddamn choice on my part. That one made a light. I forget what that means. I don't think I ever figured out what the lights from those meant. Just that there are some crypts that you're supposed to bust up, and I don't remember why. Because you notice the ones I'm breaking that are actually in these are making it light up. I don't remember what that does. I can only presume that it's important. That one didn't light up. But note that there's a hole there. That's actually the other way you get into this place. From one of the other maps in the game. I won't say which one, but there's more than one way to end up here. I showed it off last time. Accidentally. Ashes. I don't remember where the other 2 switches are. I thought one of them was in this section over here, which is why I came over here. Oh yeah, get used to it making weird noises at me the entire time I'm here, by the way. Because again, this place is meant to be kind of spooky, so they're constantly making noises and nonsense to try to unsettle you. You can probably hear the E key being mashed vigorously while I'm making sure there isn't a secret door anywhere in there. You might hear a skeleton rattling around. That's because there is. Remember the box I opened that had a skeleton in it? Yeah, that skeleton gets up after you pass by it again. Nice little fun thing they try to spook you with. It got me the first time. Not because the skeleton itself surprised me, but I'm like, where did a skeleton even come from? it's up to you if you want to tell that story now or if you want to save that for later, Pazzy. So I'm going to be going in loops a bunch here while I remember where the right direction in any of this is. And try not to die to either Migos or flying horse heads. That was a different sound. You can always tell the cursed paintings because they're the only paintings that are intact around here. They're not as sneaky as they think they are. There's also a bunch of these. Still don't know what those mean either. Sounds good. Safe travels. Enjoy being free from the work. Where is the thing I want? Where could it be? Yeah, I apologize in advance for the amount of times I'm going to walk in a circle around here. I'm going to be a little bit cheeky. If I can make this work. Because with my massively reduced jumping capacity, we might not be able to make this one work. Ooh, actually, idea. I remember a trick I did before. Oh, but I'm gonna need mana potions for that, hang on. Which I do have some, I think. Should probably also use these elixirs before I forget I have them. Because this also gives full mana. What I can do is place a barrier right there, climb up on it, and use it as a platform. This game does reward you being creative, because you can gain access to other paths and other places and things of that nature, which I always appreciate. I saw the eyes, got ready to swing, and it's like, wait, now I recognize her. Oh, hey! Didn't expect to see you down here. Death is drawn to this kind of place, so be careful. Oh yeah, I got this from Death. But they have a new one, and it looks scarier, so I'd run away from them if I were you. There's a demon around here too, other than me, I mean. Just be careful. She wasn't here before. I have to assume that that was added to give people a warning about exactly what they were talking about there. Specifically, that death hangs around near here. That may sound like, oh yeah, there's death everywhere down here because, you know, there's dead people everywhere. There's more to it than that. But we'll get into that when we get into that. It is interesting, though, to know that Demi's scythe came from death itself. Okay, I think this isn't the way we came in. But I think this might be the entrance. Yeah, the cursed paintings have 2 attacks, I believe. This flame that you see them emitting. Oh, wait, no, they have the blind gas, too. I forgot they also do that. Upsettingly. So, yeah, welcome to blindness. Basically, everything is slightly dimmer. Joy. So yeah, that was the other side of that gate. One for the entrance. So we looped back around. Which, the bright side is we still haven't actually, like, spent any significant resources here, which makes me happy. I'm used to burning a lot of resources in here. Trying to find my way around. I'm gonna raise our int slightly just to make us a little less awful at magic. If for nothing else, so we can use utility spells a little more. Yeah, we lit that one up already. Yeah, hopefully people enjoy the sound of boom. Because we're gonna be here a while. Yeah, up there's where we just were. I think I do need to go back down in the catacombs and just not screw up the pathing. Yeah, this is why this got screwbally, though, because instead of walking over here and opening the door like a civilized person, I went over here into the hole and went straight into the other path. I cannot help that I have mole tendencies and tunnels call to me. And for anyone wondering why I didn't break out barrier when I was down here initially, 1, I'd have to be on the correct side of the barrier in order to get anything done, and 2, I'm pretty sure since these things are ghost-like, they probably would just phase through any barrier I made. So I suppose we could test that right quick, since there's one of those horse heads right there. Hey, Ugly. Hey. I don't know if he backed off because he wasn't interested and he wasn't, like, actually targeted on me yet, or if he actually was trying to find a way around. Considering he was staring right at me as he floated that way, I think he actually couldn't fit past that. So we might be able to use that. There's Amigo right there, by the way. As you can see, we can slightly see it. But I think that's because we have one of the lights on. I forget if they... Yeah, because we don't have high enough lunacy for that to mean anything on that. Oh, hi. I thought I heard hooves near me. Ow, 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 it sucks here, ow. Now, you'll notice in the fog, you can actually see them really well, even when they're 90% translucent. Ow, 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 ow. I really should just go back down the hole. But I lost where the tunnel was. Yeah, you go back that way. Ow. Dick. Yeah, I knew one of these was nearby. That's 2. Not really what I'm looking for right now. But it's important that I get that too. God, I really need to do something about this little bastard. I was hoping to actually trap him in there. But unfortunately, this cast's really slow. God damn it. It's also a little tricky to hold C, jump, and do all of the other things I'm trying to do simultaneously, as you might imagine. Go away. We'll go back into the catacombs the other way around, I guess, because we're having a bit of a problem here. Notice how they're very solid now. I don't... Yeah, they're still immune to physical damage. I believe when all 3 lights are lit, they can be hurt with physical damage. I forget if that's true or not. This also is important, but I forget why. Because we didn't get anything from here. I think we need to give it something. But I don't remember what. If I ever even knew. It might be that we break it too. Though I feel like I tried attacking this before and nothing really came of it. Burn the body? Okay, Battle Axe still doesn't level up. I wanted to check that. You know, that really doesn't seem to be working. Oh yeah, I could actually use the torch here, actually, though. Because the torch does do fire damage. So we can use that as a placeholder till I find the thing I'm looking for down here. So I can at least do something other than run for my life. Which I think is the other reason why I forgot that those things were completely physical immune. Is because I usually had something like the torch around. Yeah, you'll notice the torch hurts it. Very little, but it does hurt it. Because the torch does, like, piddling damage. But that's just your proof that they're not damage immune. They're physical immune. And I could just whip out, like, Fire Spear or something and fight in here, but our magic is so pathetic that it really wouldn't amount to much. I just need to find the right tunnel that has the thing I'm looking for. Since it's taking me a bit to find it, I'll just explain what I'm looking for. There's a sword around here that does magic damage, more or less. And it will help immensely for getting through here without it being a whole to-do. Problem is, I forgot which tunnel led to it down here, and that's why this has turned into the whole to-do that it is. Otherwise, I'd be ripping my way through here and I wouldn't have any problems. The good news is the horse head that was here is still stuck over where we left it, I think. You'll notice these things at least take some damage from the torch, especially when you actually manage to set them on fire. Problem is they do a lot more damage to us. But at least the torch can kill them. That leaves me a little more leeway to walk around and try to find the correct tunnel. So I'm not having to go full speed away constantly. Okay. Clearing them out will also help me mark which tunnels I've been in already a little bit better. So I could use the survey banners, but they are a finite amount, and I don't know if I can pick them back up because I've never actually used them. There it is. That. The Vampire Hunter Sword. All of my problems are solved in here now. Does light damage. I feel like this sword's also meant to be a reference to something. But yeah, now I'll demonstrate how much more damage this does to the mares down here. And you'll understand immediately, most likely, why this was something that was going to be very helpful. You know, if I can hit it again. Yeah, one good solid hit and it's at half health. That's why I'm like, I need this sword for this place. This sword makes this place suck so much less. So as it turns out, light damage versus undead, pretty potent. Pretty potent. Mausoleum. Notice the stink gas on the door there. We can open it, but let's not go that way yet. It's a silly place. So I believe there's something else I do want down in here. We have the coffin spell already, which is one of the things you'd want to grab from down here. Not that the coffin spell is required. Wait. No, that'd be stupid. But maybe. And someone paying attention may have come to the same conclusion I just did. It's just ridiculous enough to be true. And I can't believe I didn't make this logic leap before. But it's entirely possible that it's true. Because if you remember that open coffin that had the body we can interact with in it, what if we use the coffin spell on that and seal it back in? That's why I'm like, wait, that's just stupid enough to work. Like, I don't think that that's the case, but it's definitely filed under just stupid enough to work. Just cleaning the mares out and checking all the tunnels again. I'm totally not lost. No, not at all. Yeah, I do actually somewhat know where I am. I just don't entirely know where I am, if I'm honest. Is this place unlike the sewer? You can kind of tell where you are a little bit because you can like count the headstones and things like that to get an idea of where exactly in here you are. Because there's a varying amount in each room. I don't know if there's actually like a unique amount in each room, but they do vary. And there's also some of these lights and such. Winning is debatable on that one. There's Zero, but how you doing? We are surviving, and we have made forward progress, including finding a magic sword. So, I guess that counts as winning? Doing just fine so far here. Phone had a bunch of things popped up. Thankfully no. I'm definitely cursed. The sword isn't, though. This whole place is definitely cursed. Yep, wrong tunnel. Thank you. It seemed fitting of our current situation. There we go. And there's your first dead Migo. Now that we have a magic weapon to do damage to them with. As you can see, once you can actually hurt them, they're really not a problem at all. Just their physical immunity is a bit of an issue. I'm going in a circle again. Just gonna keep on making spooky noises the entire time we're down here. This way. This is back the way we were just walking a moment ago, which is exactly what I want, because I want to get back to where we just were. Well, I say want. Want is a strong word considering where I'm taking us right now, but need. Need is more accurate. We do need to go where I'm going. I just don't like it there. I don't like it there at all. Like, I already said I didn't like it here, but I like it where we're going more. I dislike it where we're going more. I've been having a lot of word trouble today, and I don't know why. Because we're going to the mausoleum. And some of you may remember from the anniversary stream why I don't want to go here. But for those that don't know, remember what Demi said a little while ago. And that's all I'm going to say. Beyond that, we'll figure it out. So I will say, notice how quiet it is here. Notice there's no music. Just complete silence in the mausoleum. The silence of death. Dark Skull spell. And these skeletons, by the way, are not the reason why I don't like it here. These guys are fine. They're a little annoying, but they're overall fine. Because there's a lot of them. But you'll notice they're not that much of a threat, so it's like, well, why are they here? Well, there's a reason for them being here, and it's going to be a problem that I took some time to deal with them. There's also ghosts here. They're going to be more of a problem. I'm going to go ahead and just use our full heal right now. I fully anticipate that we're going to die down here. And I'm going to be upset. Which on that note, while I've got a little bit of free space, I'm going to just put this crystal shard in my inventory for no reason. No reason at all. Oh, I'm cursed. Oh. Good day, sir. You get to live. Notice how much of a winding maze this area is. God damn it, I'm cursed again. Curse you for cursing me. Yeah, we can't afford to stay here long. Staying here too long is an issue. And before too awful long, the game's going to make it very apparent why. So I'm just going to grab what I can get my mitts on, and we're going to get the hell out of here. There's something very specific we need to get down here, and I don't remember where it is. We need to get it, get out. Get it, and get out. As you all know, I don't sound nervous about things often. So you should take it as a very strong sign that I'm concerned about this area. Because there's something very, very bad here. Worse than the Abyssal Demon that chased us out of the Sanguine Sea. And I'm currently listening very carefully for it. So I don't remember if it gives me a warning. I seem to recall it does. And I really hope it does. I'd really rather not be surprised. So that is definitely a surprise we're not gonna like. Yeah, this one's missing a head. So I feel like I'm supposed to find a head for this one. But I suppose it's another case of I can test my theory with the coffin spell on that one, see if it does anything. See if I'm, like, supposed to close these up with the coffin spell. Gonna go out on a limb and say that didn't work. I mean, it technically worked, but really it kind of didn't. He's covered now. You know, job done. I feel like I've been down here longer than I was. There it is. Yeah, when they say death approaches, they mean that literally. They mean that very, very literally. We need to go. We need to get out of here right now. I have my crystal shards ready in case I don't remember the pathing, which I think I actually don't. I do really like the music that plays when he's present, though. It's very spooky. I took a wrong turn. Shit. Problem is, we're not very fast. Guess I picked it up and it didn't tell me what it was. There he is. There's Death himself. Yeah, as you might imagine, don't let him touch you, because that'll happen. I'm gonna warp us out of here, so he doesn't kill me. Whew. So that was almost a disaster. So, couple things about what he does. He will curse you, he will slow you down, and he will kill you. I seem to recall that his contact with him is not instant death, but it is very, very rapid death. There's also a thing I just noticed. that I never noticed when I was in here ever before. And I can't believe I didn't notice it. But I don't think I ever actually really, like, looked around in here. There's a thing up there. There's an entire, like, parkour course up there. I tried to shortcut it. Unfortunately, our dex is kind of terrible. So our jumping really isn't the best. Trying to figure out where the intended start of it is. It feels like you're meant to, like, climb across that to get up there. But not really. Hope you don't charge me for the use of your stall. Got it. So that's another ocean elixir. That'll be helpful. Anything new? I forget. I don't think Cheryl ever gets anything actually new. But we can get the steel needle now. So if I remember right, the rapier upgrades into the steel needle. I don't remember that for certain, though. I know something upgrades into something you already have. I just cannot remember for the life of me what. Nah. Just grab a handful of health vials, couple mana vials. I don't think we can do anything with this still. Opal, yellow moral, lotus seed pod. No, we don't have any of that, particularly. There's a bunch of unknowns. Yeah, we got a bunch of junk, but nothing... I don't really do anything there. Anything else to say? Did I ever tell you about the wicked king of rats? Meant to tell him no. The legend goes that long ago, during the first age of magic, a witch king ruled in a starving kingdom. While his magic was great, he withheld the castle's bountiful provisions and let his kingdom wither. Let him eat the rats, he declared to his knights, who eventually betrayed him. He was not sentenced to death by his knights, but exile in the cavernous depths carved from the flowing moonlight. His eyes were plucked out so he could never look up from the well. One of his arms was cut off so he could never climb out. And rats surrounded him, his only nourishment. Over the years, he would continuously starve but never died. Using the last of his magic, the exiled Witch King turned himself to stone. And the legend goes that in the deepest reaches of the depths, there's a crumbling statue of him, one worshipped by rats. At least I think that's how it happened. My memory ain't that good. Now, there's two possibilities here. One, in an area we haven't reached, there is a statue like that. But those that were paying attention when we were down in the sewers may remember that there was a one-armed skeleton with a rat king on top of it. You know, just let that sink in, those two